Coming this September, starring great weather, spectacular landscapes, and possibly you. Summer in the NT. Why wait till December? Summer starts early in the Northern Territory. Seek an early summer holiday in the NT. Different in every sense.
Night 7 of the NBL Blitz coming your way, and it is Tasmania and the Taipans to kick us off. Cairns looking for a first win in this pre-season campaign, while Tassie have split their 2 games at the Blitz in Darwin so far, a 20-point win over the Kings, before going down to Adelaide, who loom to be one of the contenders. The first leg of our doubleheader for this evening. A little bit later tonight, we'll see the Sixers and the Hawks from 8 o'clock Eastern. But for now, all our focus on the JackJumpers and the Taipans. Joel Peterson with you on KO Freebies. Great to have your company. And I'm in good company alongside 2-time NBL champion, Adam Gibson. G'day, Gibbo.
Joel, great to be back. Excited for these next 2 games coming up on your Thursday night.
A beautiful way to spend the public holiday as well. Been sunny conditions where we are, and plenty to look forward to in this game this evening. The JackJumpers have had a busy pre-season. This will be the 5th game. It closes out their Blitz, as it does for Cairns tonight. And of course, the Taipans coming off a thrilling game against Brisbane on Tuesday. Tyler Johnson, unfortunately, hit the game winner. But they've been hanging around. DJ Hogue's provided some excitement, so there's a little bit to like about both these teams.
Yeah, there are, especially Cairns. Loving what Bull Qual's been able to do in this pre-season as well. He had a great game that last one with 21 and 5 points. Obviously Shannon Scott, that new point guard position now that Machado's kind of left Cairns. So bit of a new roster, but excited to see how they play tonight.
Bit of turnover for Cairns, of course. Adam Ford, the coach, had a little bit to deal with in terms of trying to find some new names. And we have seen Big Sam Wardenberg warming up, who we haven't seen a lot of, the big Kiwi out of the University of Miami in the NBL Blitz so far. There's big raps on him. And you can see him at the back of your picture there, the big fella in the number 21 in the orange with the shooting shirt underneath his jersey. So hopefully we get to see what he can provide tonight.
He's got some big shoes to fill now that Nate Joway's not there either. So he looks like a big boy. Looks like he can shoot it really well. So Cairns didn't have their 3 bigs playing their last game against Brisbane. So it'd be good to see at least him back out there tonight.
So starting lineups for both sides. Wardenberg will get the start for the Taipans alongside Quoll, Davies, Scott and Hogue. There's a little bit, so we'll get into the Hogue thing. DJ Hogue, he's been terrific. Milton Doyle, Jared Bairstow, Sean McDonald, Jack McVeigh and Josh Majette. And Jack McVeigh's enjoyed a terrific NBL Blitz.
He goes about his business very, very quietly. What did he have last game? 16 points, 2 rebounds. Just can score in multiple ways. Can pick and pop. He has a great left-hand finish around the hoop. Shoots some interesting shots, one-leggers, fadeaways, but he's just solid, and you know what he's going to bring every game. So always exciting, always full of energy, and a great piece, I think, for the JackJumpers.
That's the other thing that he brings. When you said he goes about his business quietly, I did have a bit of a double take because I thought that's not the Jack McVeigh I remember from watching him up close and personal in Adelaide a few years ago, because he does bring a tremendous amount of energy to the floor.
Tremendous amount, and he's a real character. Talking to some of their guys, you follow him on Instagram. Real life of the party, always messing around, and I would imagine he brings a lot of energy to that group. So, yeah, like I said, he can shoot multiple different shots from all over the floor. He's not scared to take any shot, and a real impact for them coming off the bench.
So about set for a start. Of course, last night a couple of games in the books. The Kings doing it pretty comfortably by 12 points over South East Melbourne. Bit of an injury concern out of that one for Gary Brown of the Phoenix, the import point guard. Kyle Adnam was sensational with 24 points for the Phoenix last night. And then Melbourne United put on a clinic against the Wildcats in the late game. Xavier Rattan Mays was excellent on defense against Bryce Cotton. Held Cotton to just 8 points, the United defensive end. And Radar Mays had 22 at the other end. We had highlights from Rajon Tucker as well. A buzzer beater at three-quarter time. It was a bit of fun. There is a sour note to that with United losing Ariel Hukporti with an Achilles injury for the season. And that's the news that's come out this afternoon, which is devastating for Melbourne United. And we'll discuss that as we go throughout this evening. Scott Roth's out there. He's ready to roll. The casual approach with the Vans on.
It must be hot up there up there in Darwin. All the coaches seem to be rocking the shorts. Some shouldn't, but what a venue as well. You notice a lot of the guys getting out and seeing a lot of Darwin, heading to the Croc Park, Berry Springs Nature Park as well. So great place and a great venue to host the Blitz this year. I
was alongside Corey Homicide Williams last night, who said he had a run-in with Otis, the croc, at the Crocosaurus Park. Did you ever venture there?
We ventured there. I wasn't one that got into one of the tanks or cages inside. I was quite happy being on the outside, but obviously a pretty cool experience to go up there and see some of those things. So, you never know, one day there might be a team up there. So, awesome place to go visit if you've never been.
It is a stunning part of the world. And the Darwin Basketball Facility, our gracious hosts across the course of the last week, located within the Marara Sporting Precinct. So you've got the footy ground not too far away, the netball facility across the road, and they do love their sport up in the top ends. Underway here on night 7 of NBL Blitz. And the JackJumpers will control it from the opening tip. Excited to see what they can dish up. Beautiful move inside straight away. Nice find to McVeigh. That's a good start on offense.
Great start by McVeigh. Tassie run that set a lot. They just curl Majet up to the top of the key into a middle on ball. They get a quick little pass, big to big, high-low action, and a great finish.
20 seconds in. And Josh Majet's got to do up the shoelaces.
It's great to see Sean McDonald getting his start. Obviously a young training guy. Had a great game last time on Monday. 13 points, 5 rebounds off the bench. So awesome to see that young kid that's put in the hard work get a start.
Shows that if you put in the work and you find some reward, that Scott Roth's going to give you the opportunity. Here's Quoll getting inside. He's fouled on the way to the basket. Quoll hasn't been shy at trying his luck. 13 3-point attempts on Tuesday. At 14 points on 15 shots against the Wildcats. Reigning Rookie of the Year. Pretty keen to just throw up a little bit of a heat check every now and then. Loose ball here for McVeigh. Jet hit one from that spot the other night. Jack McVeigh feeling it early.
Great start by McVeigh. We said quietly, but he's into the action with the first 5 points.
A little bit of extended pressure from the Jackies as well. Here's Wardenberg stepping into a 3. That one's short. He wants to get involved early, the big man. Nice defense from Scott. That's going to be his calling card, and he lays it in at the other end. It was a key part of what they wanted out of that guard spot.
Joel, have you noticed who's coaching for the Cairns Taipans? There he is.
I did notice earlier that Taj McCall was listed as the coach on the box on the stats, and I thought, they must have made a mistake.
Is this a first? Can we get the stat man to find out if this is the first current player to step in and fill in for a coaching role?
It's a bit of Jackie Moon, isn't it? Player, owner, coach. Here's Majet from downtown.
Do you think he subs himself in? That's what.
Who does he draw up the last play for if this goes down
himself
down to the wire? Surely. You get the free rein when you're leading the charge. Bairstow lays it in with the right hand.
Great drive there by Shawnee Mack during the defence.
He's marshalling the sideline too, isn't he? Adam Ford's just taking a back seat. Can Taj do his thing? Wardenberg whips it cross court. Cole's three is short. How would you have gone if they tapped you on the shoulder and said, do you want to sub in the main role tonight?
It would be a lot of fun. Obviously, it's a lot of pressure, but obviously it's a blitz, so they're obviously having some fun with it and seeing how he goes. Maybe there's a role post-career, but it'd be an awesome opportunity, obviously, and it's going to be very interesting to see how it goes. And he's got his shoes on, so I hope he gets to sub himself in.
Doyle tries his luck as the shot clock expires. Yes, it's quite one thing coaching, but then having to maybe sub yourself in as well. Get out there and do your duties on the floor as well as the sideline. It'll be fascinating to see how that unfolds tonight. Scott can't get it to go. Clever from McVeigh. McDonald in the open floor. Pangs can't hit, but was fouled.
Hopefully Cairns can shoot the three ball a little bit better. 23% their last game. 11 of 48. It's probably not going to win you many games, so 0 for 3 to start this one is not a great start from the three-point line.
Echo Jerrick checks into the game for the Taipans. Bit of early season rust, do you think, as far as Cairns are concerned, those shooting numbers, or something more maybe systematic?
No, I think just some early rust. Most teams haven't shot the ball that well. Obviously some have in certain patches. Hogue, who now is Hogue, not Hogg. Are we sticking with Hogue?
So, I was listening to the Huddle podcast with Liam Santamaria, and he had Adam Ford on, and Adam Ford confirmed it was DJ Hogue. I was watching some of his G League highlights earlier today, and DJ Hogue is what they were going with.
Because he's been given the Boss Hogg kind of title, so that's obviously not going to fit.
It absolutely wrecks that. Off the ball foul. So they're going to count the basket. It does wreck the nickname, which is a shame.
It does. Taj is working. He's working the sidelines into the referee's ear. You've got to love that.
So it comes with the territory, doesn't it? Try and work the refs.
Can we get into a timeout, next timeout, and see what he's got to say? Is that an option?
I'd like to think so. Let's check in on him and see how he's marshalling the troops. You wouldn't think you'd line them up. You wouldn't be blasting them, would you?
It'd be a bit of fun.
Or do you get the license to blast them?
Well, if you get one chance, one crack at the title, you've got to make the most of it. So
they've got to listen to you.
100%. You've got to set the tone for the rest of the year. So if you can do that early in pre-season, they'll know next time to give him the ball.
When opportunity arises, why not take it? McVeigh, nice finish. He's got 7 of the JackJumpers, 9 early doors. Ben Ayres in there for the Taipans. Here is Hogue. Little turnaround won't go. They doing a little bit of everything. 7 rebounds, or 7 points, 2 rebounds in the early stages. DJ Hogue looking to push the pace. Can't get it to go.
What's Hogue's preferred position on the floor? Is he a 4? Is he a wing?
I mean, if he can handle the ball like that, if he clearly likes and has the ability to bring the ball up, you think body size-wise that he's probably a 4, but if you can get some minutes from him at the wing...
He's got the height as well.
207.
Here we go.
Taj McCall gonna get a chance to speak to his crew. Standing in as coach. Whiteboard in hand.
Whiteboard, he doesn't need it.
He's waved the whiteboard off. Some of the early highlights. First bucket of the game from Jack McVeigh, and then he splashed home a triple. He had all 5 for the JackJumpers.
the beauty for the JackJumpers, they've kept their same core together. So some of this offense is run really well. A lot of pick and rolls, a lot of high-low action. Jack McVeigh's featured heavily in those. Couple of on-balls, finishes around the hoop. So when you can keep your core group together, you don't have to deal with those growing pains of learning where everyone moves, everyone likes to catch the ball. So obviously a great start, executing really well.
And that continuity, I mean, just the ability to have that first season last year, have 34 games in the book, and then come back the next season and just build on it.
Build on it. Now, obviously, they'll have some pressure. You know, you make the grand final, you obviously expected to do that again. So there'll be some pressure this year to get back there. But like you said, you skip so many steps when you can keep your core group together. You know how each other play. You know how each other kind of, like to be handed off the floor, and it just makes the game so much easier.
Nice defensive play. A lot of scoring in the early stages, 9-4 halfway through this first period. McDonald thought about the three. Krislovic was a little bit strong on the turnaround. Of course, spent 3 seasons with the Taipans.
It's always fun playing against your old team. Obviously, you know their offenses, so it's a lot easier to play and to guard, and you know what they're going to run. So always love playing against old teams because I found the game was so much easier.
Sean McDonald's going to go to the line here. He has been impressive getting his opportunity for this JackJumpers team. 13-5 the other night. Being able to just slot in pretty seamlessly, really. And we've seen it with Owen Foxwell, who's had an opportunity, of course, with Southeast Melbourne. Played some extended minutes last night, but he's been really impressive.
Yeah, Owen Fox, I think he's in for a decent year. He works his absolute butt off. Great defender, can get up and in and pressure that ball, and that's what Simon's looking for from the Phoenix, and that's what they need. The defensive end's what's going to help them win games and get back up into the finals. So I wouldn't be surprised if in some games he's put into the lineup.
Certainly made the impression in the early stages of the Blitz. Davies out there now for the Taipans as Air rattles in a three. There's again another youngster with plenty of talent. Ben Air, former 36er.
Plenty of talent. He's made his way into the NBL the hard way as well. Played a lot of NBL 1. Travelled kind of all around Australia, Adelaide, like you just said. Great young kid. He's been working for years. He was a young kid. Him and his brother come to the Gold Coast when I was up there, and they come and train with us. Dribble the absolute crap out of the ball, but works his tail off. It's great to see him get a full-time contract.
So 8 games last year for Ben Air. 6.5 points in his opportunities. Spent the NBL 1 campaign with Cairns, so applying his trade and just continuing to get better. Played 23 minutes against Perth the other night, and he looks like he's going to be set for an extended role again here this evening.
He had a great off-season up there with the Marlins. Put up some big numbers. I think that shows what the NBL 1 program can do for players as well. You get to go back there, you play bulk minutes, you get to shoot the ball a lot and really fine-tune your game, and he's taken that from the end of his last season into the NBL 1, and hopefully he'll continue that with the Taipans.
I guess that the fact that if you go back to the NBL 1, you're probably going to have a bigger role than you would with your NBL club. So then, if the moment arises, you're prepared for that situation.
You are. I think Nathan Sobey did it years ago. He went back to his hometown in Warrnambool. He was putting up 40-point games and just absolutely dominating. And obviously, when you go back to places like that, you get the ball a lot. You get to try moves you probably wouldn't normally try in the NBL, and try new things and shoot tougher shots. And that momentum carries on into the NBL. And you show there's a lot of guys, a lot of the Brisbane Bullets play with the Gold Coast together. Harry Froling in Hobart. Just that momentum you can really carry on into an NBL season.
Thoughts of Adam Gibson, 2-time NBL champion with you. NBL Blitz on KO Freebies, night 7. First of 2 games this evening. 4-point lead to the JackJumpers. Taipans without Jonah Antonio tonight and Keanu Pinder. Antonio, the club said, had a bit of contact in the throat, and he's actually out with the concussion protocols. In the game earlier in the week, here's Isaac White lining up a triple. Straight
into the action. Great back pick. They had to switch, and then he's left wide open for a pick and pop three right at the top of the key.
Shard Kelly getting some run for the JackJumpers as well, and in discussions with the referee. The JackJumpers again applying that extended pressure. He has navigated it pretty well and then just took one too many steps. Got a little bit caught in two minds.
It's an exciting way to play when you get up in full court press, especially when you see your imports out there doing that. Gets everyone involved, and you're not thinking about whether you catch a ball to shoot it or not. You're up and in. Obviously, like there, you create turnovers, and the offense comes so much easier.
McVeigh's got 7 to lead all scorers for the JackJumpers. White, Kelly, Krislovich, Doyle, and Weeks out there. As White goes baseline. And that shot affected by Davey, who's been showing some promising signs. Hadley it was. Here is Davey. He goes to work on Kelly. Tries to step through. Just flings it at the rim in the end. Didn't give that much of a chance. Kelly makes his move to the basket. Count it. And he'll go to the stripe.
Great attack. Great move. Cross him over. Use his body well and finish to the hoop.
When you think about them last year, what did they need to add, the JackJumpers, to maybe go that step further? Gibbo?
I mean, obviously Josh Adams is a big piece to their puzzle. He hit some big shots late, so hopefully Milton Doyle can come in and kind of help with that. I think just not having Will Magnay, that's a massive piece. That rim protection, someone to finish around the hoop. He obviously barely played or didn't really play last year, so I think if you add him into that mix, in that 5 position where, as a guard, you can get up and in and funnel any offense into the paint, and he's going to stand back there and just block shots, kind of like what Andrew Bogut did. That's a massive piece. So you keep your same roster, you change your imports a little bit, and you add Will Magnay. That's a game changer for me.
Magnay, one of the handful of JackJumpers not out there. Matt Kenyon and Walter Brown both gone down with illness. Magnay, Sam McDaniel, and Clint Steindl didn't make the trip to Brisbane. Of course, Clint Steindl and Kayla just welcoming in a second child into the world a couple of days ago. So I think he'll be coming into the start of the season proper off very little sleep.
Little sleep. Addison Kay, I believe they named their daughter. But you got to think, when you're adding those 3 or 4 pieces, that's a massive amount of
it's
talent.
Basically a different team.
Completely different team. So when you think of what they're doing now at the Blitz and how these guys are playing that are filling in, the injury replacement guys, you add those pieces back in. It's great for Scott Roth to be able to have that competitive edge at practice, guys pushing each other for playing time, and that's why I think they'll be up in the top 4 again this year.
So where have you got them in the hierarchy if you're lining things up? Who else is in contention for top 4 for you?
I think Adelaide will be up there, just kind of watching them and their roster they've put together. Obviously, we'll probably talk about that a little more later on. You can never ride out Perth. And then I think, Brisbane, Southeast, Melbourne will kind of fight out for the top 4.
It's a pretty even season on paper. There's going to be plenty of competition for those final spots as DJ Hogue hits from downtown. We know he can do that. He made 5 of them on Tuesday night. He was red hot to start that game.
4 threes in the first 5 minutes, I believe.
Yep.
And then they got cold after that.
Here he is on the defensive end. Under 2 minutes remaining in this opening term. JackJumpers by 7. That's a little bit flat. Out of the hand of Jerich. Opportunity now for Rashard Kelly to take it inside. Nice move.
2 times driving to his right hand. That's a scout breakdown. I know it's only pre-season, but obviously during the season you want to try to force him to his left hand and make him finish driving to his left.
Taj McCall, the stand-in coach, he might be sharing that little bit of wisdom. See him up on the sideline, encouraging his side. Shannon Scott checks back in.
Tough first quarter for a first-time coach. Down 9.
Now both sides in the penalty. So Wardenberg is at the free throw line. Average 8.5 points, 4 rebounds and a block in his senior year at the University of Miami. So he's no stranger to playing some good basketball in orange. He spent 5 seasons there, I think. He might have redshirted a year with an injury. Came away with a bachelor and 2 master's degrees. So that's 3 more pieces of paper than I've got.
That's a lot more than I've got as well. I'm educated in basketball, and that's pretty much it.
So Sam Wardenberg was a busy boy.
That is very impressive. As Tristan Forsyth makes his first layup.
A little bit of chat about the fact that, you know, he gets involved in the coaches' meetings, and he is a student of the game. And if you can bring in a young import who's got that kind of ability, as Hogue splashes another one in.
Hogue is smooth. He looks like he plays at his own tempo. How tall is Hogue?
207.
207. He's going to be tough to guard if he handles the ball well. He's just smooth.
Pretty quick release too.
Impressive and high as well. So he's going to be fun to watch.
Another import who adds so much to the league. Of course, we know that Rajon Tucker has already staked his claim as the best new import in the competition.
I like it. Be bold. Why not?
I feel as though we're going to hear a lot more of that kind of stuff out of Rajon Tucker just quietly as well as they fight for it. Some good work done inside. Tristan Forsyth fighting for the ball down low. No buzzer beater to end the opening term for the Taipans there. So it's the JackJumpers in control after 1, 25-16, 9-point advantage. Jack McVeigh starting off that opening term well with 7 points. Rashad Kelly's got 7. Ben Eyre and DJ Hogue each with 5 for the Taipans. Taj McCall gets a chance to chat to his team again at quarter time in consultation with his coaching staff.
He's going to have to get them on the same page. That would be elite if we could get inside that timeout there and see what he's got to say. 40's stepping in.
Love to hear the approach, and had a little bit of a chat with Adam Ford. So 10 the edge on the rebounds for the JackJumpers.
That's a massive. You want to try and win the rebound count.
7 offensive boards to none in that opening frame.
I mean, that's what the JackJumpers do. That's what they're renowned for. They're guys that just work hard and crush your boards, but you can't give up that many offensive rebounds, and you definitely can't be losing the rebound count by 10. You're not going to win many games if you let that happen. So hopefully this second quarter they can pin that back and bridge that gap a little bit.
16 points in the paint to 2 in that opening frame. 8 second chance points to none. It's a little bit of work to do for Taj McCall and the Cairns Taipans. The first of 2 games tonight at the Darwin basketball facility here on KO Freebies. Night 7 of the NBL Blitz. Great support from the NT government in the top end. Been wonderful to see big crowds throughout the week at the Darwin basketball facility. Love their sport in the top end.
You see a team potentially up there in the near future?
I think there's the appetite for sport up there. Absolutely. I think there's no doubt that whatever it is that you've got a community to build it around. I think there'd be a real sense of local pride. It'd be something that I think the whole territory would get behind it. Much like much like what the JackJumpers have been for Tassie.
You see with the Salties, the Darwin Salties, they put on a great show this NBL 1 season as well, so it would be awesome to have a team like there.
Nice move inside. And Kelly's getting busy. He's got 9 and starting to impose himself on the contest.
Do you think Taj gets to coach out the game, or do you see 47 back in at halftime and taking over?
Maybe Taj gets subbed into the game and subbed out of coaching.
Do we know if he's playing tonight?
Well, he's
suited up.
He's listed on... He's on the list. There was certainly no indication that he wouldn't play. That at least the club had released publicly, so... And he is suited up. He's got the shoes on and everything. Maybe he's just being modest. Get himself out there when he really needs to.
Let him build a little bit of a lead.
And then be the hero. Come back in and say, yeah, this was the strategy all along.
This is my plan, coach.
Hogue, Scott, Jarrett, Air and Wardenberg out there as Hogue hits again.
He can score from anywhere on the floor. He takes his time. Great post up. Obviously had the mismatch.
He was a G League title winner with Taj McCall.
Well executed play there to get Isaac White a three-pointer. Great double turnout. Run him off 2 screens on the baseline and a tough finish from the wing. Tassie they run some really good offense and they execute it really well. They set hard screens. They move the ball. It looks like a really fun style to play, and they don't care who gets a shot. Obviously, they've got some go-to guys, but that's a fun way to play when you get up and in defensively, and then you move the ball, and everyone contributes down the other end. It's a really fun style to play.
It's doing them wonders at the moment, up 31-18. Here's Hogue again. That one's a little bit short. They just sort of do everything right, really, the JackJumpers, don't they? As McDonald shows a bit of speed, can't get the layup to go. But it's just good fundamental basketball.
Fundamental, they play their role, they keep it simple. They don't try to go outside of their means. They don't play manic basketball, they just keep it solid and play their role. They play hard, and Scott Ross got everyone. The whole roster playing that same way.
Hogue with another 2 to take his tally to 9. I think you summed it up earlier, Gibbo. He's smooth.
He's smooth. He plays at his own tempo. It looks like he's playing slow. Kind of a little bit like Jack McVeigh does at times, but his shot's nice. He gets to his spots. He's not rushed. He'll be one of the better imports for sure.
He just glides around the court. Doesn't have the explosion of a Rajon Tucker, and clearly a very different player size-wise and positional-wise, but he's a different kind of athlete entirely. White can't connect on a third triple, so he's 2 of 3 from downtown. Hogue pulls in the rebound. Opportunity for Jarrett. Air likes to look at the triple. Why not?
Great screen by Hogue. Benny Air coming off that on ball, getting his feet set and knocking down the 3.
So Ben Air's got a couple of 3 balls in the game. 3 of 3 from the field for his 8 points. McDonald's in attack mode again. That one comes up a little bit short, and Quoll pulls down the rebound. The reigning rookie of the year. Continues that sort of production line of young players they've had up there at Cairns. Hogue tries his, that was a bit of a heat check.
Definitely a heat check. Better start to the second quarter by the Taipans. Moving the ball, getting better shots, and their defense is a lot better, as this will not be passed from Jack McVeigh.
Goes to work.
That's his go-to move, little baseline fadeaway.
He had the read on him. The scout was on him there, Gibbo.
That's his go-to. It's tough to guard. He's stronger than you think. Again, kind of like Hogue. Took his time. He's got close enough to the hoop, that little bump, and then spin base.
Just got to his spot and then able to fire. McVeigh's got 9. Kelly's got 10 to lead the JackJumpers. Margin's 10. Joel Peterson and Adam Gibson with you on KO Freebies. Night 7 of the NBL Blitz. A little bit later tonight, Adelaide and Illawarra. Last night, Sydney by 12 over the Phoenix. Gary Brown, an injury concern for the Phoenix out of that one. Kyle Adnam was outstanding with 24. A couple of beautiful, flashy dimes as well from Adnam.
Things getting a little bit chirpy out there with McDonald and Bull Qual.
Seen this a little bit throughout these preseason games as Air steps into another triple. Certainly no shortage of intensity out there between the sides.
Absolutely.
A bit chippy and a bit chirpy. Like to see it. A jet back out there for the JackJumpers. McVeigh rips down the rebound. McDonald is wide open. Margin back to 10. Every time they start to get a little bit of a run on, the JackJumpers have just got the answer at the moment. Air tries to split the defense. He's fouled. So the big story out of last night, Gibbo, was Ariel Hookporty, who unfortunately has torn his left Achilles. He'll miss the rest of the season. It's devastating news for the big man, but creates an interesting situation now for Melbourne United with basically the roster finalised and their next star having gone down with injury.
Yeah, it's devastating. If you see it, it's a pretty standard. You know, he just went to push off. It didn't look like anything, and he obviously turned back to see who kicked him in the back of the leg. And it's never good when you don't see anyone standing there. So, yeah, obviously we're thinking of him and hoping he gets better and works his way through it. But it creates a real issue, like you said, for United. They're going to have to find someone pretty quick to fill that spot. You know, obviously Barlow had probably one of the quickest retirement returns ever.
Lasted about 19 days.
So they've got some solid pieces. You know, Mason Peatling I don't think hasn't played pre-season yet. So, yeah, their big department, they're going to have to work it out. So, no doubt they'll be onto that, and we'll try and find someone as soon as possible.
Pretty resourceful unit. Melbourne United over time. If anyone can go and find someone, you'd imagine a club like they can, but certainly not what you need a week out from the season proper. It's such a tough player to replace too.
Yeah, he was in great form as well, so obviously puts a lot of pressure on Isaac Humphries and, like I said, Barlow, Peatling, but no doubt United will have a plan in place to be able to find someone quick and bring someone in to help them out when the season starts.
Here's Doyle for 3. That one is way off.
Way off.
Didn't make connection with anything there, Milton Doyle. 12 and 13 in his 2 appearances in the NBL Blitz. A timeout and see what Taj McCall can draw up here. He's been pretty vocal on the sideline with his team so far. 36-28. Here's the split at the moment. Both teams shooting pretty similarly from the field, 47%, 45%, but that rebounding edge, 8 offensive rebounds to the JackJumpers, and Taipans still haven't snared one.
Yeah, you can't give up that many offensive rebounds. Second chance points are big time as well. Obviously not shooting the 3 that great at 4 of 13 and 4 of 11, so hopefully we can see some shots go down. But the JackJumpers, they run their offense so well. They're well drilled, they get good looks, and that's where those offensive rebounds come. When you know where shots are going to come from, it's easy to go and rebound. So they run their offense really well. They get it to their shooters where they want it, and then they go and crash a board. So Cairns going to have to do a better job of boxing out and cleaning up those defensive rebounds.
Of course, the reigning coach of the year, Scott Roth, who's done such a good job with this JackJumpers side over the last 12 months. What do you make of his style as a player? Would you like to have been coached by him?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously he's shown he gets a result. So guys want to come in, they want to play hard. They don't care who's you see there. Everyone's up and about just from almost a backcourt violation. So he must do things the right way. I think Jacob Chance does a great job there as an assistant coach. Apparently, from talking to some people, he's one of the best video kind of coordinators. Like his video work and scout work that he puts together is elite work. So when you have those guys working together, you know what the scout is. You're able to watch and get that video stuff in as well. I think that just makes it's a great recipe for success. So obviously they do things the right way, and yeah, obviously he's a coach that they want to play for.
Massive part of it that probably gets a little bit overlooked is that video work and all the work that goes in behind the scenes. You know, we think of coaching as the X's and O's on game day, but so much more time. The vast majority of it has nothing to do with game day.
Nah, the hours that assistant coaches and video guys spend watching a game, cutting it up, individual scouts are going through each player, their tendencies, where they shoot the ball, what moves they make, and then all the offensive sets from offense, defense. After games, these coaches spend hours cutting up tape, watching film from that game, and then the next game coming up. So it's a lot of work that they have to do, and the hours you spend, and I guess if you want to be the best, you have to do it. So that's part about being a professional athlete, is putting the time into your scout and watching video. And when you get into a game, you know who wants to drive right, or you know who wants to drive left. It's a big part of it.
Dawson Adam Gibson with you on NBL Freebies. 36-28. Tassie over the Taipans. 3-ball offline from Gabe Hadley. Here's a chance for McVeigh. Rattles it in. 12 for McVeigh now on 5 of 6 shooting. Staking his claim to being maybe the informed player in this NBL Blitz. Qual's shots off the mark. Probably got some company from the likes of Kyle Adnam, Jack McVeigh, but they're two that have really put their name up in lights in this NBL Blitz.
They sure have, both coming off the bench for most of their games, just impact players that their roles to come in and score and impact it that way. So Kyle's having a great little tournament, so is Jack, and the JackJumpers, they're picking Cairns apart right now.
Firing on all cylinders at the moment, the JackJumpers. Jerich with an interesting move. Got it to Scott, who knocked it down from the corner.
Great shot. I don't think 40 will be too happy with their offense right now. It's one pass, a lot of dribbling, a lot of standing and watching as Kelly goes to his right hand again. And another offensive board.
Got to get that in the scout. Here's Rashad Kelly from downtown, a little bit strong. Another offensive board. Make it 10 in this opening half for Tassie. That's a 10-point lead. McVeigh, little head fake, steps back, knocks it down. Jack McVeigh.
That is a great play by McVeigh. Great up fake, got him to bite. Little fake drive, step back 3.
3 of 4 from downtown. Scott to answer on the other end. And a little burst from both teams. Scott's 4 of 5 and 2 of 3 from downtown. Margin back at 10 as Tassie and the Taipans trade buckets from long distance. Jack McVeigh's got 15 to lead all scorers.
Great to see things open up a little bit as Taj has held his troops out there. That's always a fun time when a coach stops their team from hitting the bench. Obviously the cameras and the microphones can't get into those timeouts when coaches do that. So Benny Air gives Jack McVeigh a nice little 3.
Six of 16 from downtown, the JackJumpers. 6 of 15, the Taipans. The rebound count 24 to 10.
10 offensive rebounds. Adam Ford would not be happy with. It's so you play great defense. You get the other team to shoot a tough shot, and you just let them get the ball back. It's devastating for a team. So that's definitely going to be a focus point of theirs, I would imagine, at halftime to box out and clean up those rebounds.
Jackie's plus 14 second chance points. And they lead by 10.
That's a game right there. Both teams have done a pretty good job looking after the ball. It's only 7 turnovers combined for the first half so far, so...
Which isn't what we saw from the Taipans in Perth the other night, where they were kicking it away and dribbling it away and doing all kinds of weird stuff.
A lot of travels.
Do you know where did that piece of paper end up at the end? It must have been double digits throughout the course of the game.
I think we got up to 12 or 13 travels for the game, which is...
About 5 in the first minute, it felt like.
It was a lot. So it's good to see the teams looking after the ball, obviously getting great shots, and for the Jackies, they're just outworking Cairns right now.
First 5 minutes, we didn't really have a lot of scoring, and it has exploded into a bit of an offense fest out there at the moment. See the fan up in the rafters keeping things cool. Has to be the second biggest fan I've ever seen.
I don't know if it keeps it cool or just circulates just the hot air. As Jack McVeigh is on an absolute heater right now.
He is tearing this game a new one, Jack McVeigh. 18 points in the opening half. 13-point JackJumpers lead. Here's Wardenberg from downtown. That rattles out. And the offensive plan for Tassie, just feed the hot hand. Kelly wants to go to his right, blocked by Wardenberg, but that'll count.
Look clean.
And he's a little bit unlucky there. He's having a little bit of a laugh in the aftermath.
Thoughts?
Yeah, I think he's a bit stiff.
Looked 50-50 ball.
Nice play. He brings that sort of defensive intensity and the length on that end of the floor.
Oh, that's nice.
Scott can't connect. Putting on the moves at the top of the three-point line. Majet from way downtown. Pulls up in transition. 15-point lead to the JackJumpers. Doing as they please at the moment. Scott throws it away.
Jack McVeigh out there being an absolute menace on the defensive end. Just some sneaky little bumps just to get under their skin. That's the stuff that it does affect people. You might want to inbound that ball, Jack.
Generally a good strategy. Couldn't get it to Majet as he hoped. Kelly able to provide an outlet for him. 49-34. JackJumpers with a blistering first half at the offensive end. Dominant on the offensive glass. Foul off the ball. Taipans not yet in the penalty.
I imagine there'll be a pick and pop 3-point shot coming for Jack McVeigh here soon.
Instead, it's Majet who steps back and cans it from the corner. Hasn't had to do too much on the offensive end so far. Josh Majet, his first triple of the evening. And they've got 52 already, the JackJumpers. Underneath, Wardenberg takes it up strong. He's fouled.
Yeah, I think the Jackets will be happy about that. Your main point guard doesn't have to score, and you're up to 50 points at halftime. That's, again, kind of like Adelaide. They're going to have a lot of weapons that can score from all over the floor. So
haven't seen a team get to triple figures yet in this NBL Blitz. We might be on a bit of a watch here with Tassie. Still a minute remaining in this first half. They've got 52 on the board, lead by 16. And the Taipans have looked a bit bereft at the offensive end. Jack McVeigh now. He did
fade
some
away.
Nice work from the left block. Turnaround is good. 20 in the opening half for McVeigh. 8 of 9 shooting. And the steal at the other end.
Early claims for Sixth Man of the Year. Should we talk about Sunday Detch, Kyle Adnam? That's going to be a hot race to see.
Absolutely. As The Jet gets inside.
Another offensive rebound.
Up to 11 now, without one for Cairns. Kyle Adnam, based on his form in this NBL Blitz, would have to be a strong contender for that award.
He will be. He'll have a real role to come in and impact the game. Obviously, a scoring impact. If he can lock down that defensive end as well and keep the pressure and energy that the Phoenix need, he'll go close. Obviously, Jack McVeigh, he's gonna cause some problems coming in off that bench, as he's showing tonight.
28, Kyle Adnam, just continues to get better.
He's played a long time. Obviously, only 28, so he's got a lot of life left in the NBL. But you know, he's a leader now of the club, one of the captains with Mitch and Ryan Brockhoff. You know, obviously that's what he does. He comes in and impacts the game. If he can control and, you know, get his shooters some shots and work with the new guys that they've brought in, he'll be a real handful.
It's a 20-point lead nearing half-time. Has been absolutely dominant from Tassie. Led by 9 at quarter time. Scott wants to dribble it out for the last possession of the first half. Kicks it to Jarek. Back out to Scott. Can't get it to go to beat the halftime buzzer. And we go to halftime with Tasmania having put on an offensive clinic in the opening half. 11 offensive rebounds. 8 3-pointers for the JackJumpers, only 4 turnovers. Jack McVeigh's got 20, having only missed once from the field. And they lead by 20 in a dominant first half, Adam Gibson.
Taj McCall is going to have one of the all-time halftime speeches to his team to come back from this one. What a rough debut as a coach. But the Jackies, they're doing what they do. 11-0 boards, they've got more offensive rebounds and Cairns have actual rebounds, and like I said, you're not going to win any game if you give up that many offensive boards and second chance points. But the JackJumpers, they're a well-oiled machine. They get the ball to their shooters, they run offense really well, they set screens, and then they get up defensively. Cairns are having to run their offense from halfway at some point, and it's so hard to do that.
Jack McVeigh with an offensive explosion in the first half. We said early on that he'd been in good form, and he's taking it to another level.
We said quiet. Oh, I said quiet. He goes quietly about his business. That was way off, but he's absolutely on fire. It's all over the place. Pick and pop threes, catch and shoot threes, post work, fadeaways. He does it all.
He's looked pretty good in this opening half, as has Tasmania. 56-36 at halftime. First game on night 7 of the NBL Blitz. Plenty more to come. We'll take a short break and be back with the second half shortly here on KO Freebies.
Now, I want you to get a little bit further out from the Hungry Jacks logo. Let's go, use it up!
A sequel, months in the making. Summer in the NT. Why wait till December? Seek an early summer holiday in the Northern Territory.
Half-time in Game 1 on Night 7 of NBL Blitz here on KO Freebies. Darwin basketball facility. Dominant first half from Tasmania. 56-36 over the Cairns Taipans. An offensive showcase. Jack McVeigh with 20. Leading the way. Rashad Kelly with 14. An 11-0 edge on the offensive glass. 16 second chance points to 0. 24 points in the paint to 8. And that is Tassie's first half. It was absolutely outstanding basketball that they played. Joel Peterson and Adam Gibson with you. Gibbo, there's a lot of work to do for the stand-in coach, Taj McCall, and his Cairns Taipans.
Yeah, rough first game for him, but I mean, that's a game right there. 16 second chance points and 11 offensive rebounds. When you have more offensive rebounds than total rebounds for the other team, you're definitely not going to win many games, but Jack McVeigh's on absolute fire. The Tassie, they're running their stuff really well, executing plays, getting the shooters their shots, and they're scoring from multiple ways, inside, outside, free throw line. It's a pretty impressive display, but yeah, the Taipans, they've got a lot of work to do.
So no Antonio and no Keanu Pinder for the Taipans in this game, but they were the second worst rebounding team last year, and that's been a big issue for them in this one. Again, they sought to address that in the off-season, and so far it'd be a focus for Adam Ford. Do you reckon the regular coach for the Taipans would just be having a hard time watching on with a performance like this?
I think anytime you sit there as a coach and watch, you have a hard time, no matter what game it is or what situation. Obviously, Keanu Pinder not playing, that obviously hurts their rebounding chances, but the guys are still out there. They've still got some big bodies, and it doesn't take much skill to box someone out. So a lot of effort areas, I think, for the Taipans they need to work on here in this second half to even have a chance to get back in the game.
So Kelly's got 14 and 6 for the JackJumpers. Jack McVeigh, 20 points, 4 rebounds. Sean McDonald with 5 rebounds to go with his 4 points. And White with a couple of triples off the bench for the JackJumpers. For the Taipans, Shannon Scott's got a couple from downtown among his 10 points. DJ Hogue's got 9 on 4 of 9 shooting and 4 rebounds. There's not a lot to write home about apart from that. Ben Eyre, the other who's been impressive in that opening half, 11 points, 3 from 3, all from downtown. He's put together a nice first half. Yeah,
Benny's put a great first half together. The rest of the box score doesn't look great there for the Taipans, that's for sure. So, hopefully Miko can come out and hit some shots. Bull Quall's been very quiet. They've done a great job on him, only giving him 2 shots. So these guys need to step up, make some plays, make some shots, and try and make a bit of a game of this in the second half.
No doubt, Big Sam Wardenberg still sort of finding his feet. First real opportunity to see some serious minutes for the Taipans. Start the second half with Jerich, Quoll, Davies, Scott and Hogg. McDonald out there with McVeigh, Milton Doyle, Majet and Scott having a nice little chat at half court there as they wait for the second half to start.
Big shoes to fill for Shannon Scott coming in to replace Scott Machado. Obviously he's been there with the Taipans for 4 years.
Yeah.
So he's got a big job to come in and step in, and obviously these guys were used to playing with Machado, so that'll take a bit of time to adjust to his style.
Different types of player too, aren't they?
Yeah, obviously Machado was a set-up point guard, ran the team really well. He would have been a fun guy to play with as well, a point guard that can get you a shot at any point, and then when he needs to, stepping up and being an offensive threat.
Scott probably more a little bit at the defensive end. JackJumpers waste no time starting their second half off with Milton Doyle splashing in a triple. His first points of the evening. So just to add his name to the list, Bairstow and Doyle out there with Majet, McVeigh, McDonald. 3 ball from Hogue from deep.
Hogue got hot this end of the floor in their last game, so hopefully he can go 4 or 5 threes here and get him back in the game.
Doyle has it go down and out. Hogue's just going to cruise up the floor. Scott, Quoll offline. Hasn't been able to find his range really throughout the NBL Blitz. Just Just hasn't quite had the shooting touch. Pass a little bit hot for McDonald. Hoag's going to pull up from long range.
Here he goes.
Might have found something to start this second half. DJ Hoag up to 15.
Stretch fours, I think, are one of the most important pieces to a team. You have a good four-man, usually your team runs really well, so he looks like it's going to be someone that can create his own shot, set up the team. That range, he's got to get a look here this next possession.
Did some work on defense. He steps into one. It's a little bit short that time. But he's feeling it at the moment. Doyle wide open in the corner. And a little bit of fight shown on the glass by the Taipans.
I like it. They're getting pushed around on the scoreboard, so they want to get a little bit physical. Try to change the tempo of the game. It's getting a little bit chippy, and that's what we want.
What adjustments would you like to see from him in this second half?
Well, I think that physical side, get up and in, bump. Tassie have just kind of pushed Cairns all around the floor. Their catches are further out. You notice that chippy stuff. Just get physical. Obviously, playing soft hasn't worked, so get in, set screens. They've got to move the ball on offense as well. It's sticking in guys' hands too much.
Might just be coaching duties for Taj McCall tonight. We haven't seen him. Hoag feeds it inside. Davey can't keep it alive. He's been good in his couple of appearances, Josh Davey. At 10 and 8 the other night, 4 and 7 against Perth. Coming off leading the NBL 1 in rebounds with Lakeside over in the West. And the Jet starts to get involved. Doyle again from long range. Clearly trying to get it in his hands and get him involved here in this second half. Qual out to Hoag, and that one goes around and in. 18 for DJ. Jack McVeigh playing in slow motion there for a second.
Here we go, Taipans. Few stops, few scores. I don't love the offense they're running. It's pretty stop, stand, dribble the ball.
Watch DJ Hoag.
Just give it to Hoag. Give it to Hoag, get out of the way.
So it was at 21 earlier this second half after Milton Doyle hit a three. Now it's back at 12, the spread.
As Bairstow picks up his fourth foul.
Just the 2 points for Bairstow so far. Here's Hoag rumbling inside. Took an extra step. No, he was fouled on the way through. He's going to get another chance at the line.
He's going to be a handful when you can knock down threes like that. McVeigh, not known for his defensive work. Got him with a little up fake. Got the advantage. Again, plays at his own speed.
Big DJ Hoag. Played his college ball at Texas A&M. Splashes it in. School known more for its football program at College Station than its basketball, but strong athletic program on both sides. McVeigh, he's picking up where he left off in that first half.
That's an elite skill to be able to catch the ball and not drop it down to shoot that. If you can see that again. That quick release.
Jerich goes underneath. Nice move, but couldn't finish there, Hadley. Doyle slashes inside. McVeigh in the corner. 25 for Jack McVeigh. Can't miss at the moment.
Hoag gets a little introduction into the flop warning.
It's all an adjustment.
Hogue versus McVeigh. Not a lot of defense out of both of them. But
They're providing us with plenty of entertainment, though.
just try outscore the other. That's if defense isn't really your thing, you got to provide something. So Hogue's got to get a touch this possession. They missed him on the back cut that last possession.
He's got 21, and he's really starting to get into his work. I feel like when he starts to get into it, he's going to be a scary prospect.
Absolutely, what a weapon. Obviously, when they have their full strength team as well, be interesting to see how they play around him. But Tassie, I think, would be wise to get it out of his hands and maybe run someone at him as Bull Quoll gets into it again.
Milton Doyle involved in some discussion. Continuing to be a little physical with one another.
Can we just give the ball in, Mr. Referee, and let's move on.
Get on with things. Bull Quoll's pleading his case. And now the whistle goes.
What?
The Jet's going to drag Doyle away.
Tech foul. Yep.
There you go. So they'll cancel each other out, the tech fouls, but basically seems like admin more than basketball calling of the tech fouls. Air splashes in a triple.
Good to see a bit of fight from the Taipans, but all they had to do was inbound that ball. Could have just given it to them and that play would have continued.
It was how they drew it up to waste a bit of time and then eventually find air for three. It certainly worked. Just got a feeling it's not how they planned it to unfold. Here's Kelly diving across the lane. That one was never a chance. Ben Ayres got 14, done some nice things. None more nice than that. He cuts it back to 8.
He's a great young kid. Plays with confidence. He showed that last year. His 40's up and about.
The coach giving him a bit of encouragement as he walks to the bench.
Ben is the type of player just like Hogue. He makes one or two and sees it go in. Kind of like a Chris Golding. They see the ball go in and then it's like shooting into a hula hoop. So great to see him be aggressive. Great screen by Hogue, and because he's on fire as well, they can't switch. So
20-8 scoring edge here in this third term for the Taipans. Still don't have an offensive rebound. They don't need them. It's all going in. There's nothing to rebound.
if it was that simple, that would be perfect. Obviously it's not, but it's great to see some shots go down there. Taipans, what was it, 20-point game at halftime, back to 9.
It's been good fun. First game of our doubleheader. Night 7 of the NBL Blitz on KO Freebies. Hope you're enjoying a public holiday right around the country. If you're tuning in from a little bit further afield, hope your Thursday is going well. Viewers from all over the world tuning in. Have plenty of them later on when the Sixers are in action.
All of the Philippines should be tuning into that one for sure. You'd imagine a little pick and pop action with Ben Ayres and Hogue coming up this next play. Hopefully Taj is going back to his two hot guys.
So Hogue with 21, Ayres got 17. He still hasn't missed from the field.
Well, that's a
Ben Ayres.
You put the Moz on him, I reckon.
Yep. Yes, as soon as I said that, I thought, probably shouldn't have gone there. So send the bill in the mail, Ben. Flick the invoice through and I'll get that sorted. Here's White looking inside, called for a travel. So they're starting to pick it up on the defensive end in a big way, the Taipans.
Great energy up and in on the defensive end, great pressure. Hogue got his little hand in there and helped create a travel.
Bit to like here from them in the second half. We were talking first half about the JackJumpers maybe getting to triple digits. They've only just got to double digits here in this second half. In fact, not quite yet. Quoll makes his move inside. Just the 8 points for the Jackies so far in this third period. 4 fouls on Doyle now. So Bull Qual, every game last season. 10 points, 2 and a bit 3-pointers a game. Of course, Rookie of the Year honours. He's one who's, well, certainly there's a lot of hope in Taipans colours that he can take another step forward this season.
It's going to be a hard season to follow. Obviously, you know, he broke that record for rookies, the 3-point record, I believe, beating Shane Hill. Great kid again, works hard. But yeah, he'll have some pressure. Obviously, he'll be a main focus on the opposition team's scout. Jeez, I got that out just. But teams will put, you know, probably their best defender or one of their better defenders on him now. So he'll have more pressure and he won't get as many looks as probably he did last year.
Margin back to 6. The way of the JackJumpers. Wide open underneath. Weeks has it go around and out. That's a cruel, cruel finish.
Horrible defense. And then the bunny missed.
Air from downtown. Leaves it short. Sorry, Ben.
Sorry, Ben.
Rashad Kelly brings it the other way. Should never have said anything. In the corner. Splashing it in, McDonald. He's got 7. And the JackJumpers find the answer. Yeah, looking to get aggressive again on the offensive end. It's going to be great to watch. It's so good to see so many young players doing good things in this NBL Blitz, and I guess it's such a big part of the pre-season is you find out a little bit about what you've got with some extended minutes to these kids.
Well, 100%. It's great for coaches. Obviously, they can try different lineups. A lot of teams have added new pieces, new imports, so to get to see them play with their local talent. You know, some guys sit out and rest and pull the vet card. So great opportunity. And again, games like this really show your coach that when the season comes around, they have the confidence to go to play you and give you court time.
Just hopefully, for Ben Ayre's sake, Adam Ford's making notes as well as Taj McCall, who stepped in to coach them tonight. Hopefully he's impressing both of them. Majet cops a bump.
I like that call.
Oh, and McDonald's into it. On the sideline. Majet's still trying to get himself up off the floor. Adam Ford's having a bit of a wry smile about it all. A little bit of drama on the sideline. It's certainly heating up this game, both on the scoreboard and in terms of the physicality. It's been a bit chippy throughout.
Unlike 40 to get in the action. Let's hope this is a quick decision so we can get back to the game because it's up and about right now.
3 minutes remaining in this third period. JackJumpers 67, Taipans 60. Joel Peterson and Adam Gibson with you on KO Freebies. Great to be alongside the two-time champion. A little bit of the walkover there from Mirko Jeric.
Mirko always in there being a menace. Let's see what we got here. Take on McDonald. Mirko's not happy with that tech foul.
So he calls the scrimmage.
I mean, all he did was walk to pick up his teammate, right?
That'll be the defense. Absolutely. So Majet to go to the strike. 7-point game. You just hope it doesn't stunt their momentum somewhat, but he's missed the foul shot.
Surprised Sean McDonald didn't pick up a tech foul there for his little push.
He was jawing away. Hogue, Hadley, Jeric Air and Davey out there for the Taipans. Down 7. It was 20 points the spread at half-time. Hogue pulls up with a hand in the face. Majette lost the ball then, almost hit him in the back of the head, and he was racing around to try and get set for the possession.
If the Taipans can't get an offensive rebound with this lineup out there, if they, look at that, it's like 6 feet in under league. If they can't get an offensive rebound with that small lineup, then they got some real issues.
The Mosquito fleet out there for the JackJumpers, maybe aside from Kelly. White at the top of the three-point line. Gets inside, good move. And a strong finish. Lead back to 10 for the Jackies. 2.5 remaining in the third. Air with the offhand. Couldn't get it to go. Almost fumbled it away to Tassie. White goes to work again and banks it home.
Cairns need to look to go inside here. They got a clear mismatch in the post. I just throw a hog straight into the block and give him the ball.
He's angling for it. Jerich is going to fire a 3 instead. He was fouled. Mirko Jerich will go to the line to shoot 3.
That, for me, that ball's got to go inside. Obviously, that's 4 fouls on Weeks. So the Jackies might have to go deep into their bench, but that ball's got to go inside. Hogue's definitely got the clear mismatch in the block. Mirko's just got to lob that one over the top.
He's got the hot hand too. DJ Hogue. He checks out of the game. So Jerick opens his account for the evening. Third season at Cairns, 28 minutes against Perth. Hit a couple of threes early in his NBL Blitz campaign.
Hopefully Mirko can have a great year. Obviously he's been injured a fair bit the last couple. He's been in and out of the lineup. Hasn't had that many opportunities, so he'll be after a big year.
Just the 9 games last season for Jerick. Cashes in at the line there. 72-63. The Taipans have fought their way back into the contest. Can they keep eating into the margin and get a couple of stops? Weeks lines up the triple and splashes it home.
A big shot there by Weeksy. Tassie haven't had a lot of offense this quarter, so little settler.
Mirko's going to go to work on the other end. Dumps it off to Quoll, cutting through the lane. Air's active at the defensive end. Haven't seen a lot of Wardenberg in this second half so far for the Taipans.
He might be on minute. You probably think minute restrictions. Obviously, it's been his first game.
Eleven and a half minutes so far for the big Kiwi. 1 of 3 from the field. A lot of expectation and excitement about what he might be able to bring to the table. Quoll's 3-pointers off the mark. Doyle out to Kelly. Back to Doyle. Is it a little bit long? So margin single digits. Air pulls up. That was a heat check, and it was pretty wild.
It looked like a 2-for-1 shot there. I think there was about 38 seconds there. Some of the best shots you can shoot. No pressure. Free reign to come down and just get a quick one up.
Do what you like. Good situation to be in. Ben Air's been impressive. He had 18 points without missing a shot earlier in the game, now with 19. White's going to go to the line. He's got 10 so far for the JackJumpers, 4 rebounds. Jack McVeigh with 25 pacing the ball game. 20 of those came in the first half. Outstanding performance. 10 of 11 from the field for McVeigh. McDonald's got 7 and 7 for the JackJumpers. Rashard Kelly with 14 and 6, 3 offensive boards among his 6 rebounds. White knocks down 2. DJ Hogue with 21 for the Taipans, and Ayres got 19. He's 5 of 8 now after starting 5 of 5. All 5 of them went from beyond the arc. So last possession of this third period. Margin is 10. Hogue, 3 ball. Yes!
That's some great offense right there. Benny setting the table. The JackJumpers probably could just switch that one. Obviously, he's not looking to post up the guard, so it's an easy switch. Bit of a breakdown, but Hogue, I think he needs to get more of the ball.
He's got 24, and he is looking very dangerous. He's looking an imposing prospect in this NBL 23 campaign, DJ Hogue. Ayres got 19, and the margin was 20 at half-time. The Taipans, with a very big third period, outscoring the JackJumpers 32-19, and they've got the spread at 7 as we turn for home. Night 7 of the NBL Blitz, shooting at 82% from the free throw line. The Taipans, 12 three-pointers for both of these two teams, so both shooting it really nicely from downtown, and that massive rebounding edge still prevails. They still haven't had an O board, remarkably, Cairns, but they fought their way back into the contest.
Well, they didn't need to offensive rebound that quarter because Ben Ayre, DJ Hogue obviously got hot, were making their shots. It'd be good to see Bull Quoll start to get into the action a little bit. Obviously, it's great to see him shoot a better percentage from the three-point line at 40%. Obviously, their last game was at 23%, so that's obviously a big improvement, and great to see a bit of a better ball game than what it was at halftime. So I think they just knuckled down. They got a little bit chippy and a little bit physical, and I think that kind of turned their mindset. They started to attack more and be more aggressive and kind of put the JackJumpers on the back foot.
It did look as though that sort of improvement really came from the defensive end for them. Started there, you could see it almost out of the box straight away in this second half, the shift in intensity.
Yeah, I mean, if you rely on scoring solely to try and win games, you probably won't win too many. So they got physical, they got a little bit chippy, and that just got them going. And then the offensive end comes easy when you can get some stops, you can get out in transition, get some easy scores, and then things start to feel good. So big start to this fourth quarter.
And for the JackJumpers, all about recapturing what they had in that opening half. Much as they're trying to recapture what they did in their opening season last year as they get primed for an NBL 23 campaign. White, Kelly, McDonald, Krislovich and Weeks out there as that's a promising offensive start for the JackJumpers. Up Kelly up to 16.
Great first set to get some attack on the hoop. Again, Kelly driving to his right hand. That'll feature heavily in the scout.
Hogue tries his luck from downtown. There's a foul on the play. DJ Hogue with 24. Ayres got 19. Jack McVeigh's got 25 to lead all scorers for the JackJumpers. Ben Ayre having a chat to the ref. A little bit of body language involved as well.
Not happy with the offensive foul call there. Interesting decision.
9-point spread the way of the JackJumpers. McDonald lines up a 3. He's been good again.
That's a scout breakdown there from Mika. He can't go under that screen. Shawnee Mack's shown that he can shoot the 3 and knock it down, so he's got to go over, run him off the three-point line and make him drive into the paint.
10 for McDonald, 7 rebounds, 26 minutes. So big minutes again for him. He's certainly been a bit of a plus for Scott Roth out of this NBL Blitz.
Well, he's going to be someone he can rely on. Obviously, Isaac White said to replace Clint Steinel, but if he happens to miss games or Sam McDaniel happen to miss games, to have Sean McDonald sitting there on the bench is a great option.
Of course, no McDaniel, no Steindl, no Magnay for Tassie at this NBL Blitz. Matt Kenyon and Walter Brown both out of this one with illness, and Sean McDonald's helped step into the void. No Jonah Antonio for Cairns. No Keanu Pinder in this game tonight. Pinder out with a sinus infection and concussion protocol, a reason that Antonio not doing his thing. So Ben Ayres up to 20. Been enjoying the Mario Kart sound effects throughout this NBL Blitz.
Got to love some sound effects.
Got a nice range up at the Darwin basketball facility.
Are you enjoying Ben Ayres' Uno shoes?
Similar to those that Ariel Hook-Porty actually had a couple of weeks ago playing for Melbourne United, the Uno shoes. Do you reckon he's going for a sort of a wild card operation or a draw four or skip?
Skip, maybe reverse, but
yes.
They're not bad shoes. A little bit flary for me, but Benny can pull them off.
With the orange uniform, they're an interesting look. Krizlovic can't get it to go. I mean, we're here to offer opinions on the basketball, not necessarily the fashion, but
we cover everything.
Yeah, there has been a little bit of uniform chat. It is nice to see the teams repping their new duds for 23. Here's a chance for Qual from downtown. Can't get it to go. Any uniforms that jump out to you that you really like?
Yeah, well, a lot of talk about the Taipans away jersey. That looks really cool. I liked the New Zealand Breakers blue set. Was that yesterday? That's one that pops out. But I mean, they all look good. The JackJumpers, that little trim down the side, there's a little added piece, I think, from last year. So
I reckon green's underutilised in sports too. You think of the Boston Celtics and the Green Bay Packers, and there's not even the New York Jets. They're pretty iconic uniforms in sport, but there's not a lot of teams that deploy the green.
No, not a lot. It's good to see it back, and obviously repping Tasmania. But I'm a blue. I like the blue, so I'm a light blue, sky blue kind of guy. So okay. I think the Breakers, the Breakers blue was might be a favourite.
Sydney Kings called their game yesterday with Corey, and the pinstripe purple with a little bit of Indigenous detail down the side is a beautiful touch. There are some terrific unis out there in NBL 23. Plenty to get your hands on if you're a spectator.
That's our first offensive rebound.
We're on the board.
Let's go, Mirko.
And Mirko Jerrick's on the board from downtown. And the margin back to 8. So it's taken until the 2-minute mark of the final period for Cairns to have an offensive rebound, and they get 3 second chance points to open their account.
Some of the best shots to shoot off an offensive rebound. As soon as that ball kicks back out there, I reckon the percentage of those shots going in would be a lot higher than a normal 3. So they're again, easy ones, fun ones to shoot off an offensive rebound.
Only 21 rebounds for the entire game for Cairns, which is a really low number.
Yeah, especially when you're giving up 37 down the other end. They're almost doubling their rebound count. So again, you lose a rebound count, usually the free throw count. That's another indicator of how well you're going, whether you're being aggressive, attacking the hoop, or whether you're being passive. So as coaches, as teams, you want to try and win both of those counts, the rebounds and the free throws.
Free throws have just about kept them in at 16 of 19 for Cairns, 8 of 14 for the JackJumpers, 13 of 32 from downtown as Mirko Jerrick shows he can stroke it. Both teams with 13 three-point makes on the game. You mentioned earlier, Gibbo, they have both looked after the ball pretty well as well. 9 turnovers apiece.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. Somewhere around 12, kind of 3 a quarter is a reasonable number. I think teams probably would set a target at somewhere around 10 to 12. So if they can look after the ball the last 7.5 minutes or 8 minutes, it'll go a long way to winning a game.
So later tonight, Adelaide and Illawarra. Who's caught your eye over the NBL Blitz so far from a team perspective? Who have you liked?
Well, I think Adelaide. I haven't called their game on Monday. Just so many different weapons, and they won that game with DJ barely scoring, Mitch McCarron barely scoring. They got so many options. As Sean Mack drains another 3. They're going to be a fun team to watch, and they get up defensively. They push in transition, so I think they'll be a fun team to watch.
Up to 13 now, Sean McDonald. Looking forward to watching Adelaide later tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. That game against Illawarra. So, if you're in the great state of South Australia, 7:30 your time. And, of course, in the top end. And then 6 o'clock Western time later tonight, that game. 2 more to come tomorrow night as well to finish off NBL Blitz. Melbourne and Brisbane should be a corker after United did a number on Perth last night. New Zealand and Sydney as well tomorrow night as Air goes reverse and kisses it off the window.
That's nice. Had the mismatch, drew him back, gave him a little crossover through the legs and just finished on the other side of the hoop.
Showing he's got some tricks, Ben Air, 23 points. Kelly with a strong move inside. One doesn't find the bottom of the cup. Nico Jerick throws it away. Can't connect on the offensive possession that time. What do you made of the Bullets? We see them tomorrow night. They've been busy in this pre-season, a couple of games against United. Their 3rd game tomorrow night against United.
Yeah, I think they'll be right up there as well, as long as they can stay healthy. You know, obviously Baines is coming back from his, injury and issues he had. You know, Nathan Sobey, the same thing. He had a 10 and 5 in about 9 minutes, I think yesterday or the day before. So they got, again, so many weapons. Tyler Johnson, DJ Mitchell. I think the beauty with those guys is a lot of those guys have played together in the off-season. You know, Jace Kadee, Tanner Krebs, DJ Mitchell. So they know each other, kind of like the JackJumpers. They know each other, that they're connected already, and that'll help them jumpstart the season. So they'll be up there. They'll win a lot of games. I think Baines will be a handful to deal with. They'll be another favourite team.
Second-year coach, James Duncan. Got them moving the ball well. They look pretty connected in the early stages, Brisbane. So they look like they've got some tools. McDonald gets inside, misses the layup. Did all the hard work. Mirko Jerick on the other end. Bang! 6-point game. 20 at half-time. And Cairns have come out with a much better second-half performance. Forsyth for the JackJumpers. Hands it off to McDonald. Spins his way inside. He's fouled.
I hope Mirko wasn't complaining about that call. Right up the back of the head. A lot of fouls. A lot of fouls this game.
4 for Mirko. Had stacks yesterday in the Kings and South East Melbourne Phoenix game as well.
Who's your team?
I like Brisbane. I've seen them in person and the way they move the ball. Obviously, Baines coming into that team. I think Johnson's a great addition. And the thing I liked about Johnson, as we were speaking about a little bit earlier, was that even though he wasn't playing in some of those pre-season games, he was connected. He was up with the bench. He wasn't just he wasn't a bystander. They looked like they had a nice bit of connection, that they seem like they've got all bases covered. And I'd like to see the Sixers go well as well. Having spent a bit of time over there calling them in Adelaide and getting to know a few around the building, and of course to continue sort of their 4th season in the entertainment centre now. They pull big crowds. They love their basketball over there in South Australia, so I'll be keen to see the Sixers do good things this year.
Great crowd, especially when you win, they're a lot better, but love their sport. Obviously football's big there, but basketball season, they get right behind the team, so they'll have fun watching that team play.
Isaac White's up to 14. That's a big 3 to get that margin. Well, they're going back out to a 3-possession game. Quoll can't connect. He hasn't had a great shooting night again. And then a little bit of frustration. Davey can't keep it in play. White now has got 14 points. He's 3 of 5 from behind the arc. We're going to have a timeout. Taj McCall's done a good job to get the Taipans back into this one as Adam Ford provides a little bit of feedback as they make their way to the bench. The Cairns Taipans, 89-78, 11-point spread.
He's done a great job bringing them back from down 20. I'd love to see it close so we can see what kind of offense he would run, a game-winning play. That's always fun when you're a coach to draw up plays. See if you can, if your team can go out there and execute a play. That's something I've really enjoyed in my small, brief coaching career, is being able to draw up plays and have your team go out there and execute it.
What's the biggest challenge you've found turning your hand to coaching when you are in game mode?
Good question. Probably, it's stopping momentum. Obviously knowing when to call timeouts and when to use timeouts, getting guys in and out. My coaching's been more at school level at Roval Sports Academy, so it's more about handling. It's more about handling people, I think, and players.
Man management,
personalities. Obviously some don't get to play, some do get to play. So kind of handling that, I think, is a lot more that coaches have to worry about. Kind of player management.
Player management, bit of psychology in there as well.
A lot of psychology, handling upset people, and there's a lot that goes into it.
Hopefully not too many upset people though, as Doyle gets inside, swatted by Qual. He gets upstairs and denies it. Air races back the other way, can't get it to go. He wanted a call. Isaac White's had a nice shooting touch tonight. Thought about putting one up. McVeigh's back out there with 25 in the ball game. Wants it inside. Forsyth goes himself.
That's a scout breakdown again. Obviously, Tristan Forsyth is a left-hand driver. You've got to take away his left, force him to his right, and back into the traffic.
$13 points, the spread. Did have it very close. Had it back to 6. It's been a 7-0 run in the last couple of minutes here for the JackJumpers to push it back out to 13 and give themselves a little bit of breathing room.
They've made some solid plays at the right time when they need to get buckets and scores, and it's been impressive.
Again, they've just been able to lean on some of those fundamentals, the JackJumpers. Air with the floater this time. Gets the roll and a call.
And a little flex from the little fella. He's got a lot of tricks, Benny Air. He can score multiple ways. His ball handling's elite. You see there using his left hand, getting to the paint, and that floater, every point guard should have a floater.
Had to go and collect his own towel, I think, from behind the basket there. I think as far as the Uno shoes go, he's staking his claim for the wild card. We won't be giving him draw 2.
He's putting a hell of a game together, that's for sure. Bit of full court pressure. Bad reach there by Benny. Had him pinned. That's that temptation.
Just a little bit keen. His 4th foul. Jerich has got 4. Qual's got 4 as well. 26 for Ben Air. And so both sides now in the penalty as we go down the stretch with 3:46 remaining. Great to have your company on KO Freebies. Joel Peterson and 2-time NBL champion Adam Gibson with you. Thursday evening, first of 2 games tonight. Adelaide and Illawarra to finish us off this evening. Ball taps Forsyth on the bonds as it ricochets away. Air.
Oh, that's
Step
nice,
back.
Benny.
Can't get it to go. He's putting on a bit of a show. Really feeling it. 92-81. JackJumpers are still going to be, even though they've had a bit of a quieter second half, still going to be well within range of the 100 points here. No team in the Blitz has scored 100. White steps back. He can't connect. And the Taipans still in the ball game. They were 20 points down, 21 points down early in the second half.
Oh, that's nice.
Jerich puts the move on.
Just can't quite get a finish.
Long
Making
three
some great
from
moves,
Hadley.
getting some great looks. Need some of these threes to drop for him.
Has been a much more encouraging second half for them, though. They can take some solace out of that. So Kansas season actually starts against the JackJumpers. They've got Tassie on Monday, October 3. And then they've got Southeast Melbourne and Perth in round 2. Tassie have got a very busy start. So this is their 5th pre-season game. And then Scott Roth's team will be at Southeast Melbourne on the opening day of the season. And then they play Cairns on Monday, October 3 in that game that was mentioned. And then they head over to New Zealand on Friday, October the 7th. And then they're home for Brisbane on the Sunday.
How good's it going to be having basketball back in New Zealand?
Absolutely.
Shout out to Tom Abercrombie, actually. Just had a successful eye surgery, so he's not sure how long he'll be out for, but obviously it's great news that they've been able to get in there and repair his eye.
Tom Abercrombie, such a good player for such a long time. And I mean, you think about, for so long, that was such a fortress over there in New Zealand.
They did a great job for many years, and all those guys, all young breakers that went through their academy, the program they had set up there was elite, and that showed why, kind of like Perth, you keep your core group together. It's so much easier to play when you know who you're playing with. So they were tough for years and years. It was Perth, New Zealand for a good decade there, I think, just swapping championships.
Big bucket from Sean McDonald. He's got 18. It's a 13-point spread, and the JackJumpers look pretty comfortable from here. Jarek wanted to have something to say about that. They should be able to run this one out. And Rayan Rupert is going to be a name to watch throughout the course of the season in Breakers colours.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of him just that one game, but he's got some real talent. So he's going to be a handful. He gets up and gets into the ball defensively as well, a real long athlete. So, yeah, he's a great pickup for the Breakers. And they've shown they're playing a different style as well, a bit more on the defensive end, up and in. And it's going to be an exciting year.
Doyle turns the corner and gets underneath and makes it a 15-point game. So it's been some wild swings in this contest. Again, a 5-0 scoring run for the JackJumpers. And Cairns had it back to 6 earlier in this final period. The Jackies have pushed it back out to a 15-point advantage with under 2 minutes to go in the ball game. They're going to finish their pre-season 4-1, so pretty solid from the JackJumpers, having beaten Southeast Melbourne twice, absolutely thumping the Kings in the opening game of the Blitz that they had. Their only loss will be to Adelaide by 8.
And obviously it's pre-season, so you can't read too much into it. But I mean, to win those games, to win 4-1 and do it without their 3 other, pretty much 3 starters in Daniel, Steindl, and Magnay when he gets back, that's pretty impressive and shows the depth of their team and how strong their program is. So no doubt down in Tassie to be jumping for their first home game. I think it's sold out.
Yep.
Pretty quick. So bit of a fortress they're building down there, and there'll be a lot of fun for the local Tassies to get behind and watch again.
Yeah, tickets to My State Bank Arena are going to be pretty hard to come by, I reckon, this season, which is a great thing.
Absolutely.
If you got the opportunity to head down there and go to a game, I think it'll be well worth the trip. The atmosphere would be something else. They burst onto the scene last season with such a tremendous story. One of the great stories of Australian sport in recent times. Air steps back. He's having a bit of fun out there now, he's Ben Air. 15 points. What are the positives you take out of this from a Taipans perspective?
Oh, I mean, obviously, when you're down 20, there's potential just to pack the bags. But for the fight back, I guess, the fight back, they brought it back to 6, like you said. Obviously, Ben Ayres had a great game. Hogue has had a great game. Obviously, shows that he's going to be a force to be reckoned with from all over the floor. So when they get their full roster back, there's a good couple of pieces that they can really work off. And, yeah.
Keanu Pinder to come back into that team. Jonah Antonio. got a clean bill of health. And what about for Tassie? What have you liked from what you've seen from the JackJumpers?
Oh, I like almost 100 points. Those 3 players we've already mentioned, they score multiple ways. Obviously tonight it's been Jack McVeigh, but they're solid. All the offensive rebounds, 13 offensive rebounds. You know, to win a rebound count by 20, that just shows the style of play. Up and in, hard nosed. They know their role. They play their role really well off the bench, wherever it may be. And yeah, again, they score in different ways, so they'll be tough.
Here they go to break the 100. The first team to do it in the Blitz. The JackJumpers into triple digits. They're going to be a really tough out this season again. Yeah, tried to go all the way. 17-11 last season. The JackJumpers. Of course, lost in that final series to Sydney after their stunning upset of Melbourne United. Captured the hearts of the Apple Isle, no doubt about that. White's little runner doesn't go. And with offensive performances like this and some big names to come back in, there's a lot to like about the way that they're shaping up for NBL 23 as McVeigh's still active at the defensive end.
How do we rate the coaching debut of McCall?
Up and down, hasn't it?
Little up and down. Hasn't handled the momentum swings too well. Obviously, to get it back to 6 was a great effort, but I'd imagine 40 might not experiment with this kind of style of coaching again.
Adam Ford will be keen to get the reins back for that opening game of the season against Tassie. Cairns are the first side to make the trip. As that one sees us out. And it ends the Blitz campaign for both of these teams. The JackJumpers in triple digits. And they take a pretty commanding 19-point win over the Taipans. Dominated the first half. The two coaches exchange a laugh at mid-court. They fought their way back to within 6, the Taipans. But ultimately, the JackJumpers proved too strong with a massive edge on the rebounds. Plus 22 on the glass. And that, Adam Gibson, was a big factor in their win.
If that's been a focus of theirs in the off-season to try and fix the rebound count, then they've got a little bit of work to do. Obviously, they're missing some key pieces, some key bigs, Keanu Pinder, Jog Deng. They'll make a big difference, but to lose a rebound count by that big of a margin, it's a little concerning. So, JackJumpers do what they do. They rebound, they crash the boards. So Cairns have a lot of work to do, but the JackJumpers, they were pretty impressive tonight.
Jack McVeigh with 25 and 7, 10 of 12 from the field. He started on fire and he was unrelenting.
Archer, we said when he goes about his business quietly, he's really taken over, and again, scoring in so many different ways, different positions. The JackJumpers, they do a great job of running their offense and getting guys that are hot and have made shots the ball back, and shooting threes, pick and pop threes, post-ups, offensive rebound, putbacks from all over the floor. So he'll be a real weapon for them coming off the bench when the season starts.
Sean McDonald with 18 for the JackJumpers, 16 to Kelly, 14 to White. As we said, plus 22 in terms of rebounding, plus 15 second chance points, plus 22 points in the paint. A pretty dominant performance. DJ Hogue, great for Cairns with 24. Ben Eyre, outstanding, 7 of 14 from the field. Hit his first 5 of 5 from downtown, and he had 26. But a big win for the JackJumpers, who end their pre-season on a high. And of course, these two teams will meet in round 1 of the NBL season proper. Stay with us here on KO Freebies. Another game to come tonight. It's coming your way in about 40 minutes from now. Adelaide and Illawarra. So stay tuned for that. We'll take a short break and bring you all the action in the second leg of our double header a little bit later here on KO Freebies.